Aloha, and welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner, brought to you by Sakamoto Properties, Coldwell Banker, Island Properties at Kapalua. We're very excited to be here today, the day after is all I guess I have to say, the day after. And I think it really is time. There's so much to say about that, and I don't want to take up the whole show that will feel kind of political. But just for today, I mean, if only just for today, let's all realize that it doesn't matter what it is, who's right, who's wrong, whose ideas are the best, but we've got a new path, and let's do our best to be on it, to, forgive, to just, I don't even know how to say it, but I think it's really time that we just all appreciate one another and give the world a chance, give the current administration a chance. It's 4 years, and they'll do something great. Everybody does. There's not a president ever that hasn't made something that will turn out to be great next year, this year, 20 years from now or longer. We'll hear so many things to say about it. So let's love one another. Let's just look to our right, look to our left, and be kind. Let's learn all to be just kinder. And, I think it was talked about different times, at least I've heard on television over the last few days, to remember to just act with kindness, to do little acts of kindness, so let's all try to do that. Let's give it 4 years. And if we aren't better for it, then we don't have to do it the next 4 years. But let's give it a try. Anyway, so again, Betty Sakamoto here. No Roy in the studio today. I have someone else who's coming along, but I think has got stuck on the poly or something like that. So I'm just going to try to come up with some things that everyone should be thinking about right now on the real estate agenda to begin with. I think it is a great time for almost anybody to consider buying a property. So if it's been in your, I'm sorry about this, but I am the person who failed to turn their telephone off. So I am doing it right now so that you won't ever hear that again. My apologies. Anyway, so I think I'm going to do one little quick thing, and it's not totally quick, but it's something I've read before on the show, and I think it's always, for a time like this, when interest rates are good, there's all sorts of reasons that you might want to get into the market today. Prices are moving up, but there's still something that's good. And I've read this a couple of times, and I'll see if I can get through it quickly. But I hesitate to make a list of all the countless deals I've missed. Bonanzas that were in my grip, I watched through my fingers slip. The windfalls that I should have bought were lost because I overthought. I thought of this, I thought of that. I could have sworn I smelled a rat, and while I thought things over twice, others grabbed them at that price. It seems I always hesitate, then make my mind up way too late. A cautious man am I, and that is why I never buy. How Nassau and Suffolk grew, New Jersey, Staten Island too, while others culled those sprawling farms and welcomed deals with open arms. A corner here, 10 acres there, compounding values year by year. I chose to think, and as I thought, they bought the deals I should have bought. The golden chances I had then are lost and will not come again. Today I cannot be enticed, for everything's so overpriced. The deals of yesteryear are dead, the market's soft, and so's my head. Last night I had a fearful dream. I know I wakened with a scream. Some Indians approached my bed for trinkets on the barrel head in dollar bills worth 24 and nothing less and nothing more. They'd sell Manhattan Isle to me. The most I'd go was 23. The redmen scowled, not on a bet, and sold to Peter Menuet. At times a teardrop drowns my eye for deals I had but did not buy. And now life's saddest words I pen, if only I'd invested then. That actually came out of a Farm and Land Realtor magazine in October of 1917. And every time I read it, I feel it couldn't be any more true than it is at this time. One of the things that I'm thinking for people, a while ago in real estate, a lot of families would get together and they would put together a hui to buy a property. So they'd buy a property for the family. They might have 2, 3, 4 or more investors in it, and rent it, use it as a rental property. It might be a second home for someone. that would buy it and the family would all be using it. Of course, that takes the ability to put people together, qualify for a mortgage, et cetera. But I think that's another moment for people right now. Interest rates, depending on the property, are under 3%. So again, in looking with your realtor, at different ideas and come up with what you could afford in payments and making a plan for how it's going to be rented or how the family would be using it. There could be so many different ways that you do it, but I think that was very popular in different markets, and it hasn't been for a while. But I kind of think that is another way to go right now for people that are wanting to get into something. Probably, again, difficult today because so many people haven't been working, and that really is also a very difficult thing. But I think, again, keep your eye on stuff like that, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but again, it's something worth doing. You can reach my office or reach myself or Roy I'm at 808-870-7062. Roy is at 808-870-7060. The person coming on with me in a few minutes, Elizabeth Quayle, has been in the middle of doing a variety of different properties that are kind of easy for what we're talking about right now. It's been things even like at Napili Ridge, and she can go through some of the price ranges on them, but it's a great investment property for somebody at the lower end of the market. Ironically, it's right there in Napili, close to Kapalua, close to Kaanapali, and you can also do short-term rentals. So again, as a family purchase, somebody could live there. You could have multiple family members. They're small units, but it still works. But I see it as the thing that somebody will buy it, either put a long-term tenant in or do short-term rentals. And when family are visiting, you'll have an extra place for people to stay. And if you do it as a long-term rental, you'll give somebody a home. Maybe you'll be upgrading it today, maybe not, maybe you'll never upgrade it. But it's something that can be purchased as a family investment, and I think it'll work. A couple of other ideas here that we've been on. Hold on one second. Our office now is at Kapalua, 700 Office Road. And it really is come by there sometime. 700 Office Road. We're right next to the Poorhouse Restaurant, a Sansei restaurant, both fabulous places and both open, even though hours are limited and seating is limited. But they're right there. They're open. Poorhouse is open for lunch and dinner. And Sansei Restaurant is doing a lot of takeout, but they are doing some sit down there, and they've got a little outside area set up. So we're next there, and then the florist, the Kapalua Florist, is there. And again, they're working I'm sure they're working every day. They don't have set hours, but if you call the number, I don't have it with me, but it's in the phone book or online, Kapalua Florist, they're available to make any deliveries that you would need. So I think it really is we're in a great spot. But stop by and say hello if you want to talk about real estate. You don't have to be ready to buy right now, but typically someone's there 7 days a week from 9 o'clock to 4, probably I'd say more likely from 8 to 6, but the minute I say that, everybody's off on a showing. But we'd love to talk to you. Even come by, call ahead if you can. Start with one of us, Betty, 870-7062, and then you'd be certain that one of us is going to be available. But again, typically there's going to be someone, they're going to be right there when you walk in. We've got some great we have outdoor seating. So think about that for a minute. We're in the greatest spot ever. We were sitting outside this morning just drinking coffee and enjoying the scenery. We can see one of the golf course holes where everybody's teeing off. It's really a fun spot to be. And you can ask us a lot of questions and figure out how you'll get into the market when you're ready, or maybe talk about a property that you have that you'd like to sell and you might want to trade up. You might want to trade down. Even if we could direct you, if you have a property that you want to possibly turn over to a family member, we can direct you to an attorney that can work with you on it. excuse me there. I think I'm talking as fast as I can. I do that. It's one of my things, actually. I do talk fast. But I'm kind of used to having my little partner in crime, my husband, and kind of keeps us going. About yesterday, I think that's something that would be really fun to talk about. In a minute, Jesse, who's here, I may force Jesse to come over and chat with me. But Jesse is with Meyer Computer, who does all of our website. And check out our website. It's sakamotoproperties.com, sakamotopropertiesplural.com, and everything is on it. I mean, you can find the radio shows from the last many years. You can see every property, and you can navigate around it really easily. So you can see what we have listed. You can go into the MLS system and pick anywhere you want on the island and find the properties that you just want to look at, that you want to think about, or maybe just put it. We sometimes will get a call from a young person, say somebody, well, I guess anybody under 50 is starting to look young to me. But let's say, it could be a teenager that makes a phone call and they're asking you about a property that they'd like to buy. And you kind of know quickly, I don't think so, but it's better to talk to someone about it. And eventually, usually they'll tell you that they just found your website and they're looking at it. And I think it's really great for anybody doing this to remember to, talk to them, because they're going to buy real estate sometime. And maybe I'm not going to be the one they're going to be purchasing from, but that's okay. Let's, again, be kind, because they made the phone call or they got to you in an email or a text. And again, I think it's fun. But again, check out our website, sakamotoproperties.com. You can find pretty much everything about real estate. There's even, if you go in there, you can also find, we did what I called I called them vignettes. And Meyer Computers, Jesse and or Chris Meyer, they helped us doing them, and we'd go to some property that we have listed, and my husband Roy and I would just sit and we'd talk about one of the big things we talked about was restaurants, and we had a lot of fun going through all the different restaurants that we like, that we love for one reason or another. And our feeling has always been, and you'll hear this if you go and find it, what we always feel that we want to go someplace where people are nice. We call it like Cheers, where everyone knows your name and they're really glad you came. And ironically, although now if I said restaurants have good food, I mean it, but we also feel like if we go someplace, if everybody's really nice and the food is okay and they treat you nice, that's more what we would like. We like going somewhere where it's fun to walk in. Typically, we like, I think a lot of us do, go back to the same spots over and over and over, which is fine, but we do it because of who it is, maybe because of the owner or because of one of the waiters or the waitress or certainly because it's close. During the pandemic now, we're very careful about where we go. We're enough older that we want to be cautious. We want to wear our masks. We want to take care of ourselves and everyone around us. And I think we should all be doing that right now. But wherever you go, ask for what you need. If people are too close, ask to be, have them reseat you someplace else. But let's stay going out and take care of all of the local restaurants. Our tourism is up and down, so it really is difficult for all of the restaurants to be open and to be ready to serve us. So let's take care of them. If we can, let's remember the waiter, the waitress, and I just think, my husband says I adopt everybody, but that's not true. He just likes to kid me about it. But I think that if we can do it and we're able, leave a little extra tip. Everybody's having a hard time. A lot of the people are only back to work fairly recently, and they're working really hard. And you can see they're happy, and like Cheers, they're really glad you came. So I've got a lot to say. The people near Roy's Restaurant is another one right now. They've been so great about everything there. They've been open as much as they can. I know they had a brief shutdown. In Lahaina, Honu is kind of one of our all-time favorites, ahi bruschetta, which I know I pronounced wrong, but it's as good as I can do. But go there for ahi bruschetta or anything that's on the market. You're going to absolutely love it. And then next door, they have the Mexican restaurant, or I guess it's more referred to as Spanish, Fritas, and it's fabulous. And they've got a good outside area set up, so I think you'll really enjoy that also. We love lunch there, or they're open for dinner. I think everybody's a few less hours than have been before. Mala is open under new ownership, and again, they're doing a great job. They've got a big outside area there. So again, restaurant-wise, look for that on our website because we've really enjoyed doing that. You can call us about any property or any idea, so if you call us, we might not always be immediately available, but we'll pretty much answer almost every call, or if you leave a message for us, we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. I do every so often miss text messages, or I might miss email, but I'm doing my best. I've found the pandemic to be really difficult. So with that in mind, I think like everybody, there's times that I'm not as up on everything. I'm not as ready as I can be. But call me and I will get to you as fast as I can. And now, entering the studio at KAOI is Elizabeth Quayle. We're not sure what happened. She may have been kidnapped, held for ransom, but she's here. And so I think now I'm going to dump something on her so that she's got to talk about it. But one of the things that we had earlier talked about, and I started on this a little bit, I was mentioning some listings that you've had at Napili Ridge in particular, and maybe even as a family purchase, someone that, but tell them more about it because you know more about the cost there and everything there is. So
Sure, absolutely. And I was listening to the radio on the way here.
Oh,
great job.
That is great.
So Napili Ridge is one of those little slices of paradise. It's about 3 blocks above crystal clear Napili Bay, less than 1,000 yards from the 14th hole of the Bay Course.
Oh, that's right, it is.
So it's just one of those very affordable properties that was built in what ended up being a multi-million-dollar resort area. They have 132 units, 88 one-bedroom, 44 studios. Of those units, 55 are doing vacation rentals right now.
That's fabulous, really.
So,
for everybody.
And you have a resident manager who lives there. The association owns a unit that they provide for them. It's just a fantastic place to live. They actually have a little vegetable garden in the back, so if you are there, you can grow your own veggies.
Oh, she did the same thing I did. Telephone is on. She did a Betty. I think she's got to turn that off, and then we're going to make her try to start up exactly where she left off.
It's not my husband either. So this particular property has undergone major renovations since 1917. All new water pipes, new walls, new drainage, spalling project, beautiful swimming pool, barbecue area.
It has everything.
It's got everything you'd want to live.
And a short walk to the beach.
Or visit. Mm-hmm. Either way, you're in paradise. Your one-bedroom fee simples are going to be about $350,000 right now.
Sounds about right.
Leasehold, you could get a one-bedroom for about $200,000. The lease goes through the year 2049. So something to remember about leasehold property as an investment. If there's less than 30 years on the lease, you cannot 1031 it. But you may be able to buy the fee interest in the future. So
is it available now?
It was available till the end of December. They cut it off then. But it may become available again. It has been several times since 2009. So it's just one of those little properties that's a great starter property.
And I think the thing you said in the beginning is probably the most important of all. You are such a short walk to one of the most fabulous sandy beaches in the world, and also a short walk to the Kapalua Resort. If you were visiting there and you wanted to play tennis, if you wanted to play golf, I mean, you could actually, well, you probably wouldn't walk with your golf clubs.
I
But
wouldn't.
no, I wouldn't either. But you could get to the Kapalua Resort really easy to all of the restaurants there. There's a great little restaurant right on Lower Honoapialani. It's the address, actually. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's really good at Napili Shores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've gone there a number of times. And again, it's a place where everybody's happy. They're glad you came. They'll probably remember your name. The food is good. They have a great hamburger, cheeseburger, fish sandwich. They have a little bit of everything. But again, you're places you can actually walk to from there. And I think that by itself is good.
Yeah. It's also a very Hawaiiana environment. There's no high rises. It's just single or double story buildings. So you do have a sense of being in the country.
You do.
Yeah.
Everything else around it is residential.
It's very, very green as well. So it's actually a very short walk to the Napili Plaza.
That's right.
So if you're going to go get groceries, you don't have to get in your car. You can walk right across the little valley, straight through, get your stuff, get your coffee.
Yeah.
And they also have Joey's and Maui tacos and roots. And
That's another one. When we were saying, I was on a restaurant kick. I was
Yeah.
telling everybody all the different restaurants. But one of the restaurants that's an all-time favorite of ours is Joey's Kitchen. And he has been open almost every day since the pandemic started. At one time, he could only do takeout, and he was doing takeout. And half of the West Side was going there because he was always open. He was open every time that you needed him. You could call an order in, pick it up. They would bring it out to your car. There were so many different things that he's done for the community. I love Joey.
I am so grateful for everybody who has hung in there with services, restaurants, patients
Yes.
to go. You know, they set it up so you can pick up things at the curb. We're so grateful.
The coffee store in Kahana.
Yeah.
They stayed
Dave,
open
they're awesome.
almost every day. And even when they were barely making money, and you knew they weren't, if you wanted to go by for coffee, they still had pastries. They had everything. Now, I hate to tell you this, Elizabeth, but we are winding down, and we are probably 2 minutes. But that's okay, because I still think the biggest message that we all want to have today, and Elizabeth may have some little thought on it, but is that we all got through yesterday. We have a new president, and I think it's time that we all do our best to be as supportive as we can. Nobody is going to be able to do everything within the first 30, 40 days, the first year. But if everybody can allow the president and support him in the ways that we're able, I mean, some of us have totally different ideas, but let's just do our best. Let's be kind. Any thoughts you have on that?
I think that we live, and I am an immigrant, and I can tell you this is the most fantastic place on the planet to live. We are the most blessed society out there. There isn't a day that I'm not grateful for where I live, and thank goodness that we're civilized and we actually have a government that works for us.
It's when they say a government of the people, by the people.
That's right.
Absolutely. We are what we are. So now we're actually with the 1 minute warning. This is like a football game here, but we're going to have Danny Couch come back on. I've been listening for the last couple of days to a very special song, and I was trying to have it so I could turn it on. It was Frank Sinatra. I think the actual name is A Place I Live In, and it's fabulous. Look for it. Aloha, and let's all kind of give a little bounce to Danny Couch. He's been fortunate. He's allowed us to use his song coming and going on here, and it's one of my all-time favorite upbeat Hawaiian songs. Danny Couch. Aloha.
Aloha.
We'll see you soon.